From recruiting and consulting firm Riderflex, I'm your host, Steve Urban, and here is your Riderflex episode of the day. Check out my new coffee mug. Got this for Christmas. My wife got it for me. Yep, love my granddaughter. Just thought I'd share this. You know, I'm not sure when you're going to watch this, by the way. You might be watching this in June for all I know, but wanted to keep it a little personal here on the Riderflex podcast. Don't want you to think we're all business. We like to have a little fun too. Anyway, on today's episode of the Riderflex podcast, why job candidate soft skills are more critical now probably than ever before, at least in my opinion. So what are soft skills? Well, you can Google it, just look it up, right? You'll get all kinds of stuff. People skills, interpersonal skills, communication skills, work ethic, problem solving, adaptability, time management, organization, etc. All of those things about you as a candidate beyond your specific technical ability to change a tire on a car, if that's what you do, is change tires for a living, or whatever it is you do, right? Whatever specific skill set you have, it's about all those soft skills, I think, more and more. Why? Because of the technology, right? The rapid increase of technology. The way things are going, pretty soon, we're all going to have the same information, right? Or we're going to be able to look it up. We can YouTube it, we can Google it, we can have a robot that does it for us, whatever. With technology headed in this direction at the speed of light, it's the soft skills that are going to make a difference. And I think you can look that up too. There's all kinds of articles on that as well. So I think candidates, by the way, any millennials listening to this, or high school kids or whatever, young people trying to decide what to major in college, I think a liberal arts degree or some sort of general management degree now is almost better than ever before. Tons of articles on that topic as well, by the way. But my point is, the soft skills, it's just so critical as a candidate. And I want to just give you an example, right? A couple of examples. I want to talk about the doctor example, right? I just went to the doctor about some back stuff that I got going on. I'm sharing something else with you personally. I just went to the doctor. Let's set that aside. I want to share my doctor story and my handyman story, right? Two completely different things. So why do I use Fred, the handyman? I want to start with that. Now keep in mind, a handyman these days, every single thing they do in your house, they can look it up on YouTube, right? Even if you call a handyman that doesn't know how to do anything, they can just come over, they can prop their phone up on the counter, pull up the YouTube video of how to change out a garbage disposal and just do it, right? That's an example of how technology is kind of leveling the playing field, right? So it's not about how well you know how to put in the garbage disposal anymore, because every handyman knows how, because they can look it up on YouTube, right? It's more about the soft skills, right? Those interpersonal skills. And I used the garbage disposal as one example. You could use a million. There's almost nothing in your house that you might need to repair that you can't YouTube. Now you might be watching this and saying, well, Steve, why don't you just do that yourself? Well, I don't know, because I don't like to. I'd rather pay a handyman to do it. But what's my point? My point is, I use Fred. Fred's not his real name, but I use Fred because I like the guy, right? He communicates well. He asks me about my family. He shows up on time. He's flexible around my schedule. He just figures stuff out. He does what he says he'll do, right? He's organized. I mean, I just like him. He's a great guy to be around. Communicates well, presents well, doesn't scare my family. You know, he's not one of those scary guys walking into the house. All of those things. That's why I use Fred. I don't use Fred because he's like, you know, the best, the best paint guy, right? I'm looking around my office trying to find an example. I don't use him because he's the best guy at changing out a light fixture. I used him because of his interpersonal skills, because of his soft skills, his people skills. That's why I use Fred. Now, I'm going to go the opposite end of the spectrum here. I'm going to talk about my doctor. So I'm now using a specific doctor for some back issues I got going on. By the way, the reason I have these back issues is because I work really, really hard for Riderflex. I do work hard for Riderflex, but that's not why I have the back issues. Why do I use my back doctor? Okay. I'm going to call him Bob. It's not his real name, but I love Bob, right? There's a 1,000 back doctors I could use in Colorado. I can go to all kinds of people for this specific thing that I got with my back. I go to Bob because he's great. First of all, he's personable, okay? Here's what Bob did for me. This is what won me over with Bob. Let's share this with you. It's a little, probably a little too personal, but I'm going to share this with you. I was in Bob's office to get some injections in the back of my neck for some pain that I have to deal with. Now, I'm in there for that specific thing. While I'm in his office, okay, I'm telling him about this other situation I got. I got this lipoma in my back. It's like this fatty tissue bump that you get in your back if you're an old guy. Anyway, I got one of these in my back as well, right? And I'm like, hey, Bob, I got this lipoma. It's kind of bothering me. He's like, oh yeah, let me see it. I'm like, okay. So I show it to him. He's like, well, you know what? Let's just do an ultrasound on that. And I said, right now? He said, yeah, right now. Just walk with me. We'll just go do it. This is after the procedure I was in there for. Now, I'm like, well, don't we have to schedule that? Isn't that like a separate thing? He's like, no, don't worry about it. He says, just come on with me. So he takes me over. He does it. He shows me the picture, takes a picture of it. He says, what's your cell phone number? Pulls out his cell phone. He takes a picture of it. He texts me to it. He texts the picture to me right there. Like, this is non-scheduled stuff. And he's like, listen, I'm going to have you talk to my buddy doctor. Okay. Her name's Sally. I'm going to give you her information. Matter of fact, he texts me that too. He's like, I'm going to call Sally. If Sally doesn't call you on Monday, you call me back and I'll take care of it. I was like, wow. Okay. First of all, I've never received this kind of communication and people skills and friendliness from a doctor ever. Guess what? He's the back doctor I use now exclusively. I don't go to anybody else. Is he the best doctor in the state of Colorado at giving back injection shots? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm sure there's a million doctors that can do the exact same thing. But it's his soft skills, right? All those soft skills. That's why I use the guy. By the way, I went online and wrote a review for him, okay? And I tell all my friends about him if they have back pain. What's my point of this entire rant? And this is a long podcast. My point is this. So many of you out there, you have the specific skill, right? And you think that, well, I'm the best, guy at making keyboards ever, and that's going to keep me employed. Well, probably not. Okay. There's going to be other guys or robots that can make keyboards. So you better sharpen up the soft skills. That's what matters. The people skills, the interpersonal skills, your communication, your work ethic, adaptability, are you organized? All of those things are going to separate you in the job market. Okay. And there is your RiderFlex tip of the day. The RiderFlex podcast features entrepreneurs, business executives, and the stories behind how they got there, as well as daily tips on career advice and job interviews. Our show can be heard just about anywhere these days, but you can visit riderflex.com and click on the podcast page to hear all the previous episodes and learn more about the recruiting and consulting services we provide. Contact us at the email address info@riderflex.com or 888-964-5876. Thanks so much for listening, and if you enjoy our show, please be sure to subscribe to our channel and like the episodes.